everyone. Welcome. Thanks for taking a few minutes to check out the education pathway during the Career Navigator virtual day. My name is Erin Toninato. This is my 34th year in education and I still love it. Over those years, I've had many wonderful opportunities both within the classroom and as a school administrator. Currently, I'm a school administrator serving as the Special Ed Director at South Central Service Cooperative right here in North Mankato. South Central Service Cooperative provides many services that are education related. My job as the administrator is to provide some very specialized teaching staff as well as educational support to all of the districts who are attending today's virtual event. I am super excited that you're going to hear directly from some teachers during this presentation today. I want to remind you though that there are many jobs within the school system besides being a teacher or an administrator. Maybe being a paraprofessional, a custodian, a cook, working in the school office, or driving a school bus sound like the perfect job for you. Every role within that school system is an important role. For today's presentation, our focus is on why you may want to consider being a teacher. To prepare for this, I asked some teachers directly why they got into education. Some of the responses I got were, I really wanted to work with kids. I love working as a team. I love being in the schools. I wanted to make a difference. And because it's a profession that matters. Kids really matter. In other words, what they're all saying is you matter. Becoming a teacher requires a minimum of a 4-year college degree from a state-approved teaching program. The first step is to determine who you want to be teaching, as each area requires different training. There are really so many options. This slide is only a sample of some of the areas that might be considered. If primarily working with students prior to entering kindergarten sounds exciting, then early childhood education or early childhood special education might interest you. Elementary, middle school, high school, and special education teachers all require a different college educational program. This list does not include every kind of teacher in your school. If you think teaching might be for you, ask one of your teachers about their jobs. It's never too early to start asking questions. Teaching is a lot of work, but a really fun and rewarding profession. Teachers typically work a school calendar year, which includes the days you are in school, plus some additional days for planning, conferences, professional development, and other teacher duties. Teachers do have work obligations beyond the school day. Time is spent developing daily lesson plans, grading paperwork, answering emails, serving on district committees, working at events, and of course attending school activities to show support of their students. Teachers are required to obtain 125 hours of state-approved professional development or ongoing learning every time they renew their teaching license, which is required every 5 years. According to several resources, the average salary for a first-year teacher in Minnesota is approximately $50,000. Again, for the purpose of today, we're going to remain very general and highlight teaching through two lenses, general education and special education. General education refers to the teachers who teach all students in the school. They teach in early childhood centers, elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools. These positions require a minimum of a 4-year teaching degree, and many positions require a specific focus of instruction. Some areas your teachers may have focused on are math, music, phy-ed, social studies, science, language arts, and so forth. Let's have some fun and hear from a general ed teacher who teaches 4th grade.
My name is Ria Schwalbach. I'm on my 5th year of teaching 4th grade and my 95th take of trying to get this thing done in 3 to 4 minutes. I've learned I can talk all day about teaching and what I love about it and why I think everyone should experience it. My number one reason why I love it is that I love watching kids learn. Watching them work through something that's really difficult, have their light bulb moment, and get really excited about the learning that takes place. I think I get more excited than they probably do. We just finished up long division, and those first few days, weeks for some, it was like I was speaking French to them. They constantly talked about how hard it was, how they were never going to understand it, that it was going to be impossible. And props to them, they learned it, and we were doing distance learning during it. So having that frustration on top of that, but watching them go into that final test confident and ready to go, followed by an email from one boy's mom who just said, thank you, thank you, thank you. She said, we were pulling our hair out. And he is now asking to Zoom with his grandparents to show them his long division and teach them in case they didn't know. So he just getting things like that and watching them work through it and think that it's going to be impossible, and then be able to reflect back on that day once they know how to do it. It doesn't get old. There's no feeling like it, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. The other part I love about it, and can be hard, is the unpredictability of every day, every minute, every hour of our day. I can have a general outline. I can have a plan for the day, but when those 20 students walk through the door, that plan can totally be tossed out the window. Being able to read the classroom in the middle of a lesson and just know that, nope, we need a break. This is a lot for these fourth graders right now. Even year to year, you had something that worked really great the year before. That's a total flop this year. Just learning how to roll with the punches, and it can be really challenging, but what other job gives you that? You have 29-year-old, 10-year-old minds that can run the day, depending on how that goes. So I think just that unpredictability and every day being different is awesome. And my other and final reason, obviously, is the kids. They're the number of times I laugh during a day, just hearing them, the stories that they have, the different things that they do. Right here is my why I teach. They don't. My husband's an engineer, and I'm pretty sure his wall doesn't have best engineer ever or number one engineer from his coworkers and his staff at his engineering site. So, the other picture is having a Whoville day. What other job do you get to celebrate any of those random days, homecoming days, and just relax and have fun? And finally, the memories. I coach, and when I coach spring volleyball, I'm just getting to the point that I'm having some of my first year students come in. And so just the stories they remember and memories that they have from fourth grade, it warms your heart. It reminds you again, I'm here. The days I go home frustrated, some days randomly in tears, usually things out of my control that I start to worry about. But those days are far, far outnumbered by the days that I go home with a filled heart from these kiddos.
Special education refers to teachers who have training to teach students who have educationally identified disabilities. They are trained to provide specialized instruction related to the needs of the students. These positions require a minimum of a 4-year degree in special education related to the category of the disability. Some positions in special education require a master's degree. In Minnesota, we have 12 identified disability categories. Special education could be delivered from birth to age 21. Where and how services are delivered are determined by the student's individual needs through a team process. Now's a great time to listen to a special ed teacher talk about her position.
Hello, I have been asked, why did I choose a career in education? I love to learn, I love children, and I love to help children learn. And I know those are pretty standard answers that you'll hear from many teachers, but I want to take it one step further. Why did I choose to be a special education teacher? My first experience was way back in high school when I volunteered in a special education room within my high school. I saw the joy and excitement and the thrill of learning within that classroom with those students, and I saw the teacher being the leader and the facilitator to help those kids learn to the best of their ability. I thought to myself, this is fun and I can do this. So then I went on to college, and from day one, I knew that I wanted to be in education and in special education. So, when you are in special education, I will be honest with you, you have to be highly organized. And if you ask anybody in my family or anybody in my classroom, they would agree with you that I am an organized person. Special education also allows you to think outside of the box, because not everybody learns one way. So you as a teacher get to explore and figure out how is it the best to meet your students' needs. And that allows you to think outside of the box and think of creative ways to do that. And speaking of creativity, special education allows you to take an average pool noodle here, use your creative mind, and think of different ways to use it, such as, for this one, maybe a card holder to help your students be interactive in a game with their peers. So it allows you to be creative, to think of unique situations or unique solutions to situations that arise in your classroom. Special education also allows you to be a problem solver, because every student who walks through your door will have a unique need or needs, and it is up to you as their teacher to figure out how to get them to engage in your lesson, to participate with their peers, and to grow personally with their skills and emotions and communication and everything. So you are really a puzzle master. Special education also is very unique because every day is different. Yes, you have your routine and your structure, but you can add fun things in there to change it up just a tad. And in the last 25 plus years that I have been working as a teacher, I have enjoyed coming to work every single day because every day is different, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen today. Who is going to go from needing full assistance to doing something independently? That is the huge reward that we get in education, and more specifically, special education. I am a teacher who loves teaching, and I teach children who love learning. These children are like sponges. They hang on every word that you say, and they want to please you, and they want to do well, and they are our future, and you are shaping them and teaching them what to do. So again, I love learning. I love children. I love to teach children how to learn. Thank you, and that is why I am a special ed teacher.
Are you starting to think that maybe teaching is for you? If so, investigate it further. Look for volunteer opportunities in the community or in your school that might include working with other students. Babysit. If your school has a student mentoring program, join in. Help out at student events. Volunteer at events for individuals with disabilities. Perhaps asking to help in a special education classroom or volunteering at Special Olympics. It's my hope that after hearing this information, you truly will consider teaching as a possible career path. After all, teachers change the world, one child at a time. After this presentation, do you have additional questions? Of course, feel free to reach out to me, or better yet, talk to your school counselor, your principal, or your superintendent. Find out who your special ed director is and have a conversation with them, or talk to a teacher you know and ask questions. Again, thanks for taking time to learn about the teaching pathway. I hope you'll be in the classroom one day sharing your knowledge with others.